know you're crazy, but I only wanna be with you. You think I'm shady cause I'm out here trying to make some moves, but it ain't like that. Just know that I'll be right back. I'll give you all my time just to let you know you're mine. It ain't nothing, promise I'ma do it all to give you something. This love I got is only for you. You're my comfort, my future husband. I'ma give you all my heart, yeah, all of it, yeah. Baby, I know that I gotta come fix it. You the only nigga that I be missing. Swear I'm coming home to give you the business. Turn off my phone, it can leave me a message. I'ma just cover your body with kisses, kisses. Rub your body down, you know that I miss it, miss it.
Yeah. That's my kind of girl, kind of world I wanna live in. That's my kind of girl, kind of world I wanna live in. That's my kind of girl, kind of world I wanna live in. Out of cell or in prison or in hell's Armageddon. That's my kind of girl, kind of world I wanna live in. That's my kind of girl, kind of world I wanna live in. That's my kind of girl, kind of world I wanna live in. Out of cell or in prison or in hell's Armageddon. Yeah, very foxy, very foxy, very foxy. Now everybody, guess your body, I ain't going. You be saying, choose to lay in cuticle statements with crucial paintings. Who's your favorite? Tears are staining. Old arrangements, oh they waiting, oh they waiting. Coordinate them, all relations poses patient. All impatience, you're the doctor, I concur. In this world, can nobody rip my heart out like baby girl. Kind of world I wanna live in. Kind of world I wanna live in. Kind of world I wanna live in. A stash and a honey that'll blast anybody. Kind of world I wanna live in. Kind of world I wanna live in. Kind of world I wanna live in. A stash and a honey that'll blast anybody. Yeah, oh you Nikki, oh you Trina and you Trini. Oh you pop it till they call you Fizzy. Go, rock it till they call you Pebbles. Oh, you chiseled on another level. Oh, a little class and a little ghetto. Oh, that's my shorty from the other barrel. Yo, that's my bubble from the other side. Zone 1, 2, 3, no she vibe. Cold, there's not a city that can hold your lights. Float to the pilot, say I know you right. Post to the liar, say I know you right. Smoke to the lighter, say I know you might. Dose, chuck the deuce to the former life, cause you just so happen to be as accurate as me. That's my kind of girl, kind of world I wanna live in. Not a cell or in prison or in hell's Armageddon, yeah.
Look at me, tears rolling on down my face. Look at me, I can't believe it, I'm her girl.
Chill. Yeah. Welcome to Happy Hour with Lito. I am your host. You know what I'm saying? My special guest today. Some of y'all may know him from movies like ATL, After Hours, Body, or you may even know him from his music. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop artist, actor, spoken word poet, the homie Albert Daniels, aka ALBE BACK. What's up, bro?
What up, bro? How you feeling today?
I'm good, man. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I truly do appreciate you coming on, you know what I'm saying, my platform. You know what I mean? First and foremost, I always do this, you know what I mean, with all of my guests, man. You know, I'm an advocate for mental health. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to myself. So, you know, for everything that everyone's been going through, this pandemic has been very hard for all of us. You know what I'm saying? How have you been able to maneuver through everything that's been going on?
Yeah, I think I have a strong sense of truth before the pandemic, you know, that we are existing for a purpose and a reason. And so, you know, whatever gets thrown our way, you know, we're black, you know, put us against anything and we'll match, you know. And when I say black, I'm not necessarily mean just, you know, African American or skin color. I'm talking about
the unknown. You know, we're still a young species. Retrospect, you know, the country's still a young country. So everything that we're going through is gonna be is gonna have another side. So I was always rooted in the truth that, you know, wherever you go, it's your purpose to be there.
Word. That's what's up. And you said you on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
So y'all got shut down a few times. Is everything pretty much open now on the West Coast?
Nah, it's not really open like that. I mean, it is. I mean, there's a, you know, like the supermarket and stuff. It's not a ghost town like it was. There was a couple times where there was nobody in the streets. It was so quiet. But yeah, nah, you know, it was like when there's a shootout in the Bronx, like that whole hour after is real quiet. It was like that for months. You know what I
Word.
mean? And so it's like it's just, but now it's people are maneuvering, you know, around each other. The restaurants are kind of in the parking lots and stuff like that. You know, I really, you know, my common sense doesn't apply to this day and age, I feel.
Word.
So I don't know what to say. You know, how I have to wear a mask at a counter, but 20 feet is a guy with no mask eating and coughing, and the logic doesn't make sense. So I don't know what opening up is. I think we got to just open up our brain to a new way.
Facts. And the way that, you know, they're trying to have everyone get this vaccine, but at the same time you still got to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? The aspect of that.
Yeah, I think when it comes to people being done with the mask so much that if you just say, well, we'll stop wearing masks if you get the vaccine, then, you know, people gonna have to tattoo their papers on it.
That's a fact.
I got vaxxed. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. You're right about that. So, you know what I mean? For those who, you know, don't know you and don't know your story, man, tell us a little bit about where you're from and everything like that.
Well, I'm from the South Bronx, Bronxdale, Bruckner, Soundview Projects, Monroe Projects. My family is from, you know, Germany and Panama,
Word.
and Sioux Native American Indian. My mother's side's Puerto Rican and Taino native, and we were trapped on an island called, you know, the Bronx, and it's an island to itself. It's not a real island, but
Word.
it's an island to itself. I got to grow up through hip hop. You know, like I got to grow up. You know, I was born in '83, so
Me too.
So I got to watch the early stages of park jams and, you know, all of that. Seeing African Mabata here and seeing Slick Rick on the corner, you know, at the pizza shop, or, you know, I got to live through that actual birth of it all through the '80s, and then I found poetry in the 6th grade, and I found my mentor, who later has become like a father figure to me, who is my father, Abi Adun Oyewole. From the Last Poets, he kind of taught me how to do poetry from the 6th grade, and just learning how to be a man at a young age, you know. And so that manhood gave me experience, and experience forced me to write. I just kept writing and was able to finish high school pretty early, and was using poetry as a tool. I used to live with Big Pun when I was 14 and 15.
Where you lived with him?
Yeah. I used to live in the attic, like throughout 90, most of all of 99. Okay. I would say end of 98, going into the summer, all the way to the summer of 99. Then I had to go to school in September, so we kind of like lost touch. Not lost touch. Right. I'm just saying, like he's a grown ass man putting out his second album. Right. What is he doing with a 15-year-old? He was just And then no, then he went to the he went down south to get his mind right and get his weight right. And I know he was doing shows and stuff with Lyricist Lounge, but that was early on. When he went down south that last time, he was really just trying to get focused, and he came back. And I remember being on the phone with him, and he was like, I was like, yo, when you back? What's going on? Like, like, when we gonna do this? When we gonna do that, yo?
Right.
And he was like, nah, I gotta go. I gotta leave again. We're not in the house anymore because we're getting this new house renovated. So we're in the hotel right now. He's like, don't worry, I'll be back. And he goes, wait a minute. That's dope. That's your name from now on. I'll be back. And that was February 6th, and then he died the next day. So
Wow, that's crazy.
I'll be back for 21 years.
Pun gave you that name. That's what's up.
Yeah, ever since that day, I think I see his plaque up there.
Okay. That's dope, bro.
He stays with me.
That's dope, man. Word.
Anyway, yeah, so learning from him, seeing Yeah Baby, and kind of I would say that I was watching more of the Terror Squad and the Don Cartagena album being made and being constructed. I wouldn't say that I was there for Yeah Baby. Like, I watched him write It's So Hard. I watched him write New York Giants. I watched him write
It's So Hard. That's like one of my favorite pun joints.
Yeah, I remember when he couldn't catch, well, not couldn't, because I don't want him coming after me in my dreams.
Word.
I remember when he didn't catch the beginning, like that
You can
first
catch
part.
me in the cherry red one. Yeah.
Yeah, he was having a hard time at first, and I remember giving him the 8 count and was like, and then because it's off a little bit.
Yeah.
And the thing was, I remember saying his breath was a second. So I was like, your breath is and you're going into it. I remember him going, oh, that's nice. You know what I mean? And he wrote it on, he was sitting right outside his house on a couch. And he was just sitting on the couch. He had a couch outside, and that's when he had the cherry red 150. But he had just put the egg headlights on it, and it was like he's about to put the couch on the truck. And he's like, yo, he's like, yo, I'm gonna get a minivan. I'm gonna drop the top. This is 98. His car game was so crazy. Or 2000, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say 99 because in 2000 he died February 7th. So he didn't really live 2000 that much.
Yeah, God bless him, man, for sure.
Yeah, great man.
So when you decided to do music, so you were really, were you like younger than that? You know what I'm saying? When you decided like, yo, I want to do music, or like, was it before you met Pun, or?
No, I think Pun was a catalyst for music because he would teach me. I would have to hear him talk to Prospect and Triple Six and Cuban Links, and I would hear him talk to Remy, and I would listen to him and talk to the people giving advice. You know what I mean? Like, even when before Remy came around, I remember him talking about her. You know what I mean? Like, not like she wasn't around, like she came around once that time or whatever, and I might have missed her. And then I come around and he's just in conversation, like, I want to do this, I want to do that. She could do this, she could do that. But we got to make sure it's songs. We got to make sure it's records. So he would always push for the idea of being musical. And I don't think people got that chance to see him. So that musical side of his ambition, that sparked an interest in me. Yeah.
Word. So what about when it comes to acting? When did you decide, I'm saying, that was something that you wanted to tap into?
We always have that ability. I think that was always available when it comes to the spoken word world. Rest in peace to my homie Mums, who passed away a couple of days ago.
Rest in peace, man. I'm sorry, bro.
Mums was in Oz. Mums was all over. He did a lot of little short films and he was sitting right next to us during the New Eurekan days where he would read poems, and I was there, man. I was there, 19 years old, trying to find myself and trying to find my art. And the poetry world allows you to stay connected to your piece and tell a story. And an actor is essentially doing the same, although they are locked into the story so that they make you feel they're living life and you're just viewing it.
Word.
But it's still a sense of storytelling. So when I was with Mos Def, I was hanging out with Mos Def, who was another hybrid of a person, right? Someone that could rap and act. When I was with Mos Def, he would take me everywhere. Him, the brother Muhammad, the homie Big Moo makes space for me.
Word.
Muhammad, they would take me everywhere. So I watched that whole album of that whole album he had with sex, drugs, and money, and I don't know why the name is escaping me. That Mos Def album that he got nominated for a Grammy, and for that whole year, it'll come to me.
Yeah.
But Beautiful Man, he would take me everywhere, man. He'd be like, yo, where are you? You know what I mean? Like Most loved me. If we walk into a room right now and Most is there, he go, oh, this guy. Like I was just a little brother to him, man. He just took me everywhere, and Pun's gone, and I guess a lot of people might have felt that they didn't want to let ALBE go down that thing. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
5 years late, 3 years later, I'm hanging out with Mos Def everywhere, and that's when I met Kanye and stuff. We'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
that Mos Def was doing a GMC commercial, a truck commercial, and Chris Robinson, who did all the Big Pun's videos. He did all the Big Pun's videos. He did Off the Books. He did Pun's first video, and he did Pun's last video, which was It's So Hard, and 100%. So he walks in because it was a stage room that they were doing the commercial. I think he was doing a commercial down the block or in the same building, and I don't know what compelled me to say this, man. It was just the craziest thing in the world. I was like, Chris, I was just so happy to seeing him, because I remember I used to just be a PA and just work on the music video set and get everybody soda and stuff like that.
Right.
So I said, Chris, I'm gonna make you rich one day, and he said, okay, sure. You know what I mean? And I didn't know why he was there in New York. He was there just to audition for the character Brooklyn, and he didn't find anybody. And here he's about to go back to LA. Back to Atlanta. The movie was called Jelly Beans at the time, and he goes, I invited him to my Def Poetry, so I didn't really have anybody like that. My family didn't really come out to see my shows, so I would invite the people that what I mean, that I met along the way, and
Right.
So my plus one was Chris, and Chris stood there and watched me do poetry, a poem called Super Negro, at Def Poetry, and I had a Big Pun shirt on, and he just said, man, you'd be perfect for this movie, but I need you to audition. And so I didn't have enough money, so I did poems on a train for a couple days.
Grinding.
And grinding, and New York paid for that flight. And Aunt Marshall, too. Aunt Marshall gave me the difference. Aunt Marshall from the Lyricist Lounge. And I jumped on the plane, and, the casting director didn't have the same size as me, but I'm fermented in, what I'm in. So she was like, her name is Kim Harden, and she was like, hey, I don't have the same size that you have, but do you know any poetry? I was like, yeah, I think I know a poem. Yeah. I said,
Right.
I said, I think I might have a poem. And so then boom, I spit a poem, and the rest is history.
Word. You are you real close with Fat Joe?
I want to be. You know what I mean? I mean, I think I will be. I think there's a part in my legacy that we're gonna reconnect one day. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I love that dude. You know what I mean? I love Joe. I think he doesn't get the props that he deserves.
That's a fact.
I think there's a lot of props that he would have. his 560 leathers were like essentially the first leathers. I mean, Wu Wear had their thing, but Fat Joe 560 was like that was a real thing in the Bronx, and it clothed a lot of the style, the nostalgia is what Avrex took off of us. You know what I mean? They took all that, and so I feel like Fat Joe, from clothes to graffiti. How
Yeah,
many
that's a fact. He
rappers?
was a dope. Yeah.
Yo, I used to go. We used to go before Pun blew up. You used to just see crack everywhere. It was just crack. TS with the bomb. It used to be like it's just like I used to. He's a pioneer in many different forms of the culture.
Facts.
Even with his DJ. Khaled is his DJ. I'm sorry, I know Khaled's his little brother that's grown into, but that was not his DJ. But I remember Khaled, man. Khaled has his own hustle and his own grind. But I remember Khaled being at the Triz video. Okay, but your man can't do it like that. Can't work them. And Khaled was there. Pun was alive. Khaled was there. Then people see Khaled later, but for Joe to have enough fortitude to see a personality as a DJ and allow that personality to be away from the booth and give, you know what I'm saying? Khaled has a DJ personality that is he's a DJ away from the booth.
Right.
DJ in conversations. And I don't think that even the GOAT DJs have that part. You know what I mean? In retrospect to, fun or party or so Fat Joe being a platform for someone to be that and then give them the validity, like nobody's gonna mess with you,
right?
Because it's me. Like if you listen to how Pun and Joe protected J-Lo in that first record, like even in their lyrics, I was there when Pun wrote that. I watched Pun go, Jenny, you know you liking this. He got cheddar. I'm twice as rich. Teach you like. I was there. I put the tape in the radio so that he can write to it.
Word.
Yeah, I mean, and so, but when you hear them rap, they both go, nobody's gonna mess with you, Jenny.
Yeah.
And that's all somebody ever needs to be their free self, And so Joe provided that for a lot of MCs, a lot of producers. Not like he's a goon going to protect you, but just the fact that everything that I did in my life, Joe did that. So hopefully you would have to go through that, and that's real. That's real, man. Joe.
Yeah, it is real. Yeah.
And he's funny. And his storytelling and his, and he's hilarious, bro. I can't deal with crack. I just can't, man. I want to be, I don't think he knows how much I felt like I wanted to be like the Kanye of the Terror Squad. Like I wanted to come back and help with production on a stadium music level. And I think Dre is doing that perfectly fine. But before Dre and Joe really started connecting like that, I was like, man, I wish he could just hear me. But I think to some extent, the problems that happened with after, I got caught up in that somehow. When the truth is, Pun just loved me. There's no reason or rhyme or reason to why he loved me. There's no, and nobody really understood it because it was nothing but gangsters and killers around. There was nothing but gangsters and killers around, and here's this 15-year-old, at the Carbons or at Sue's Rendezvous.
Word. And you know what's crazy, man? It ain't too late, man. You know what I'm saying? I think Joe's a different person now.
Yeah, and we don't have no beef.
Yeah.
My cousin Mad Mark. I'm sorry, I got it. My cousin Mad Mark is was one of his greatest friends, and he was a DITC member, and so like it was all connected. We all connected, and I just don't ever think that Joe looked at me like the talent you got. I think he looked at me like, go grind and do your thing, baby. Like, I love you. I got you. If you ever like 911'd me, you know? But he never saw my talent and how it could help him. You know what I mean?
Word.
But he doesn't even know that I helped on the graduation album.
We're gonna talk about that too.
He doesn't know the other intricate parts of me because we're so BX that when they're like, yo, so I did this, and he's not gonna go, oh, you did that? Let me capitalize. That's not how our relationship is.
Yeah.
So he'll never see me like, oh, ALBE, you know that beat? Like I haven't gotten that time with him. And I want that time with Joe, not for fame.
Yeah.
Just for hip hop purposes. I want him to go, yo, my little man kept going. Nothing stopped him. He didn't use drugs or alcohol. He takes care of his daughter. He's 38, but he doesn't look crazy. He doesn't, and so I want to make him proud, just like I wanted to make Pun proud, and Mark proud, and Big L. Those men were I just watched them, just looked at them, and just was a fly on the wall. I just really a fly on the wall, and I was able to absorb it, and they gave me so much spark and freedom, because since I'm a part of that cloth, you can never mimic me.
Facts.
Yeah.
Word. That's crazy. You was around all of that, seeing a bunch of things just come to fruition, and it's crazy. So let's go back to ATL for a second. So how was it being that being your first movie, you know what I mean? Like how was the experience of working on that with, T.I., Lauren, and so many other, stars, Monica?
It was 2005, and I was on fire with poetry. So it wasn't difficult because I was excited. Every time the director yells action, it's a time for me to perform. And you think about it, like a poet only really gets unless he features, he gets 3 poems or 4 poems and sells his books or something. He only gets 3 minutes on stage per week. Unless you go into the other poetry spots. And so now you telling me I get to perform this whole day? Oh, and I get to do it again? It's a king. I think a lot of poets that are out there could be exceptional actors. There's a lot of exceptional acting in the battle rap world, in the poetry world. I think if someone gave them a little bit of the tools, man, we'd have some different movies out there. So I was on there just to absorb, and I thought it was going to be like Bout It too. I didn't even think it was going to be as big as it was, because I just heard Southern rapper as the lead. So it was only me, him, and Lauren that were casted. So we hung out all the time. It was just me, him, Lauren, and Zipporah, Lauren's best friend, and Falant Johnson, who, rest in peace. And he, it was good. We was hanging out with the King during the King days.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I really love that guy for what he stood for. I always felt like T.I. is misunderstood.
Yeah, me too, man. I mess with T.I., and I'm in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Love T.I. up here. People love Tip.
And when I say misunderstood, I also mean like he has a teacher's vibe to him, in a youthful kind of appearance.
Yeah.
Some people look like a teacher. Some people look like a scholar. And T.I. probably ain't gonna reach that till he like 80, where he's like, oh, that's the old man T.I. You gotta listen to him. But he's so youthful that I feel like, when he does impart wisdom, people just want to be cool with him, and they don't want to,
Yeah.
All the people that learn from him actually grow, But he's definitely a teacher. He's definitely a facilitator of information.
Word. And I feel like when you meet people like that and they give you jewels, I feel like you don't never want to let them down. You feel me? Like it's almost like, a motivational speaker that's able to tell you something and you're like, man, I gotta I gotta apply this, because if I don't and he find out, I don't want to see that look on your face.
Yeah, or the infinite being that's beyond the moon, you know, put him in your path so that you can appreciate learning. I remember driving down 75, and we was in a Spider. He was a Spider or one of those Porsches, the one with the button.
Mm-hmm.
And we doing like 140 miles an hour. Zoom. 140. I remember looking over and seeing 140. And I remember going, I remember wanting to say to him, you know, planes take off at 177. I wanted to say, I was like, we're 33 away from 177, bro. Right? So we driving, and I remember I have no seatbelt on.
Oh man.
And I remember seeing a cop. So 75, you could kind of see what's happening in a joint. And I'm like, he's not gonna stop. We're on the highway. So he's going, I'm about to grab the seatbelt because the cop, not because of the speed, well,
right?
Because of the speed too, but like, and he go, no, don't do that. That's gonna make him stop. You know what I mean? Because you showing that your reach or whatever is just too much. We doing 140. So he goes, they know it's me. Never in the history of ever done. This nigga drove past the cops at 140, shoom, and he told me, he's like, they know it's me. So then he goes, you should have seen me before I had kids. I was crazy out here, right? He goes into this is honest to God, the honest truth. Like, he goes in and Manny Fresh is already there, kicking up the beat, and he there 15 minutes before he does that hook. That hook comes out in 15 minutes. I want my beat down low.
Yeah.
Down low.
That's my joint.
Then he stood there for another 45 maybe, playing with the verse, and he was writing it in his head. And then you can see the conversation that we had before that. He goes, police trying to pursue is just nothing but gas getting. Guess I'm addicted to fast living. Think I'm bad now. Should see me before I had children.
Yeah.
So I learned that your experience in that day is for you to regurgitate it out into the world, and however it comes out, you know, it comes out. But your day is probably the most powerful thing you could tell someone.
Word. So were there ever talks of y'all doing a part 2 of ATL?
Yeah, we did some things. Yeah, we did some dope things with part 2.
Was Chris supposed to direct it as well again?
He did, yeah.
Word.
We're all there.
So y'all still in talks then? Is that what it is, or?
No, we've done things actually. There's things that we've done.
Oh, word. Okay. Just haven't released yet.
Correct.
Yeah. Gotcha. So how was your experience on Def Poetry?
That was weird because I could have auditioned.
Mm-hmm.
I could have auditioned. I was a New York champion. I was killing it, and I think Stan Lathan would have saw my audition tape and messed with it. But knowing Dante or Yassine, and knowing him, he's like, nah, I got you. Nah, it's all right. You're okay. I got you. So I'm like, nah, dude, yo, don't do that. So 2 weeks of Def Poetry, two shows a day.
Right.
So excluding the weekend. So you got like, what's that, 8, 16? That's about like, you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of poets.
Yeah.
And 2 shows. So 3 shows go by. It's the middle of first week. And I'm like, yo. And he's like, yo, come tomorrow morning, go to rehearsal at the Supper Club and tell Stan Lathan that I told you you're going to be on tonight's show. And I go, I know inside of me, I go, he directed B Street, and you want me to go to this dude and tell him that? Like, I already saw, because you got a director who directed things like they're gonna identify with something that they've studied, and I could know off bat that Fair Lathan was not into the hopes and dreams of a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not where he's at with it. So I go there anyway, and I say, "Hey, Mr. Lathan, Mo said that he wanted me to read poetry tonight, and then he goes, "What? No, the show's been booked up for years. I hate when he does that." And he turned around and he looked. Yo, my heart stopped, bro. It's like my idol, like a director. I'm a director. I love directing. And it's like the only Bronx movie we had. You know, B Street was humongous, and then here he is turning me down. So it hurt. And I walked out the door, and I ran right into Dante, and I was like, "Yo," he said, "No." he's like, "Yo, just come with me tonight." So I went to the show that night. A lot of times you'll see me in the crowd. You know what I mean? If you look into Def Poetry, you'll see me. But I go there, and he goes, he's like, "Yo," he's like, "I want him to be on the show tonight." And meanwhile, the show ended. It's just 6 people there. It's me, Muhammad, Mose, Stan Lathan, his assistant. But then there's Russell Simmons, Danny Simmons, Patrick Ewing,
Okay.
and Felicia Rashad. So there's 9 people there. And Felicia Rashad's there, and it's like I'm looking at the whole scenery, and Dante and Stan is arguing over putting me on stage tomorrow. And like I can't breathe.
Right.
I couldn't breathe. It's like I don't even know what to say. So I just stood there. And then Stan goes, "All right, spit something." And then I did it. I just boom. And I gave Claire Huxtable all the love in my performance, you know, but like it wasn't even about a girl. It was about slavery almost. It went, "This is what you're in. When you ask what you're in, when I told you what we drank, because they force fed us our own people's fluid." And don't just get salty about that. It just goes down from here. This is what, and like that's why I just went in.
Yeah.
I didn't go.
Yeah.
He said.
He said go, and you said, yeah.
And so that got me to do a poem the next day, and then I did 2 poems, and I rocked the crowd. Sonia Sanchez had went out before me, and then I did a poem called Super Negro, and then I did the urine poem, and then the crowd erupted. They just showed me so much love, and then from then on, no, right there, Chris Robinson was at that show, and he said, "Come down to ATL." Went down to ATL, and I was doing the poetry on ATL that same year. So Def Poetry was February, we shot it, and then summer of 2005, I was doing ATL. So that was a pretty cool year for me, 2005.
Word. So you said that y'all have done some things, you know what I'm saying, as far as a part 2. You think y'all gonna have to go and has it been a while?
What's the question?
Like, you know, because for ATL too. So you said that y'all have done some things, y'all have shot some things or whatnot that have not came out. So like, was that recent, or was it been a while ago?
No, it's been in production for about 3 years now.
3, okay, gotcha. Word. Well, I hope that, you know, I hope that comes out, man. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, for sure. I know you can't really say, you know what I'm saying, say much.
Yeah, but I'm happy. You
Yeah.
know? It makes me generally happy. I know people go, "Yeah, don't talk to ALBE about ATL. He hates that." I don't. When friends, there's a difference between fan and friends.
Yeah.
You know? And you're a fan of the movie. I'm a fan of many movies.
Word.
But if I'm Denzel's man, no, if I'm Omar Epps' man, I'm not gonna be talking to him about Juice. But when I know, this is just me. I don't know if your fans know, but I know that Omar Epps can rap.
Word.
Like in real life. I don't think
I know.
Like, you bump into him and you try to battle him if you want to. But Omar Epps is nasty. Like he sound like a AZ.
Word.
So it's like, you know that about him.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you then, you know, introduce him as the guy from Juice to like
Word.
friends or stuff like that. So I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
But when I see people generally happy about the film, I worked hard on that film, man. Man, that shit was hard as shit. It's hot out there. You know, I missed my mom. I didn't know where I was. That was a journey for me that got captured, you know. I added so much to the cast members, you know. I gave them so much energy and creativity, and lines in that film wasn't even created. It was me that in my brain that helped it, and
Word.
so I feel attached to it like it's my baby too. So I'm happy that people are excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen ATL in probably a while, but I always remember your line, you know what I'm saying? When they were talking about you being a poet and stuff like that, and you was like, you always son. I'm not your child. You said I call you son because you shine like one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into the realness. Let's get into the music. All right. So now, do you have your own label? Like your own label? You're like Just Be, right?
Just Be's my company. That's a
Okay.
company that's a multimedia company that my daughter will own one day. You know that, you know, it started in 2009. You could just kind of you can do whatever you want under it. It's a multimedia company, so you could do acting, you could do poetry, you could do commercials, you could be a creative under there. My label is similar in that it's called 808 Vinyl, and we just like we don't even want to sign artists. We want to sign like moments. So
Word.
like, you know, you can give me a batch and I could put it out. Like if I really like the batch of music you put, as far as music songs like producers, I'll put out a batch of beats on our site, and I'll connect it to all the director friends I have so that they can pull it for their movies.
Mm.
So it's all about our label is more like a pool, more than it is yeah. You know, if you wrote something right now and I was like, yo, this joint's dope, and I spit something on there and we got a song, it stays there in the folder until you hit TuneCore and you're on all platforms or whatever.
Word.
But with this, while it you know, the record is it's like we'll put a short moment on it. Make it like 30 seconds, the record. And then we'll find the best 30 seconds, and then we'll put it into a folder that's attached to a mood. So when you go into to the website, you say, "Oh, this is a love song, or this is a club scene, or this is a," and then I have my directors go in to the folders and just be able to pick out hasn't been sold yet. And so
That's
the movie will take your song way beyond High 97 would.
facts. That's
Yeah.
dope. That's an avenue for artists that is not really being tapped into right now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of actors, there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of cartoons. There's a lot of cartoons everywhere. Music translates everywhere. So I'm right now, I gotta go to the supermarket. I gotta go do some stuff with my daughter. It's her birthday weekend. So she is the queen of the house right
Word.
now. But I gotta score this Nigerian cartoon sometime this weekend. And they don't care, but I don't know lick of Nigerian. Like I don't know any of that. I'm sure that my ancestors are from there.
Right.
But I don't because when I hear the music, it sounds like Latin vibes too, and it's like, oh, you can see where they took the drum from, you know. But they taking my sauce in a
Right.
cartoon, you know. It's like, man, you know, there's money out there. There's different ways. So what about that kid in the X that just knows me, but he's good? He just knows me. I don't have to sign him or anything. He just knows me. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna use that beat for that scene. You know,
That's what's up. So real quick, talk a little bit about your Kanye West experience with Graduation.
I met Ye during when he first made Two Words, and he took Mos Def's verse from another thing and put it on Two Words because he wanted Mos Def to be on it. So even though they were cool, he still did that. So when he pulled up, I was there with Mos on the Brown Sugar video shoot, and John Monopoly was there, and then Mos was just loving it. The most is like, this kid, I love this guy. So I was just talking to Ye, and he was so focused. And I said, yo, Ye, I'm gonna be the greatest ever. He said, I believe you. That's what he said. And I said, anything you need, man, I would love to. I was really into church at the time. You know, Pud died. I was a devout Christian at that time, like 2001, 2002, 2003. And so during the end of 2002 is probably when he's making this Brown Sugar video shoot. And I'm like, yo, I want to help. How can I help? You know? So they want to do in the 2 words, and Cootie and Chike directed the 2 words video. They directed Through the Wire. And Cootie and Chike was directing 2 words, and it was Cootie's birthday. And so Cootie invited me to work on the video as a production assistant. So I ran around, and nobody knew it was Cootie's birthday. So I was asking everybody to give me money so I could go to Costco and get a cake. And I got a cake for Cootie. And it said 2 words, happy birthday. And then Kanye left, and I didn't get to see him until late registration. And that's when I was doing ATL, and we got to bump into each other. And then when he was making the graduation album, and then he gave me an early copy of Late Registration. Nobody had it for like a month. I was listening to Late Registration. It was so dope. And then graduation came. Cootie brought me to the studio, and was like, "Oh, what's up? What's up?" So we just started building, and I was listening for a while. For like a couple days, I was there, just wasn't doing anything. Then he asked me to go on the Kanye got stacks. Y'all already know that. Gucci this, Fetty that. Just got a model chick. And that's me. I go, is that Jesus? With me and Jackie Long, we in the booth. I had brought Jackie Long over to the record plant, and I was just absorbing. Then I was like, "Yeah, can I play your record?" And he's like, he's such an album mode, you know. And it was the end of the day, and I played him a song called Lullaby, which later turns into Goodnight. And it has Mos Def, and Mos Def's like, I don't want to say goodbye to you. And I constructed the whole thing, and I played the keys. Blue, right? And with my man Jason Miller, and he loved it. He was like, yo, this is crazy. And I was like, I know.
Yeah, because Jay's such a creative, man. Like,
yeah, but then he said that he's like, I don't want to steal your shine. Like, I'm such a big artist right now. You're gonna lose it. And if you come out and don't have anything to back it up, you're done. You're just gonna be that one hit kid with the Ye song.
mm-hmm.
Yo, he was really animate about me not doing that. And it's a fact. You know what I mean? Because you can see how it worked out for those people that had that. So. Yeah, I let it rock on his album. Then he called me and asked me to work on concepts for other records on that album, which I'll kind of keep quiet.
Right.
But he everything was great. And he had a fiance. Everything was great. We won the battle between 50. I think that was a hard time. The whole Jay-Z, Jay Brown, the whole Big Brother, the whole Jay-Z coming. I think that was a big time. And then I think Def Jam didn't believe he was gonna do 1 million in a week, so they only shipped out like 900 albums, 900,000 albums. And like they didn't believe. And I remember him screaming. So when you watch that 106 in Park performance, and you see that he has no voice, that's not because he was performing over and over and over again. He was yelling like, what do you mean you didn't? I did all this promotion. We're on every cover, like, and you didn't allocate over 1 million copies? Choo! So he wound up 990 something.
Yeah. He still beat Fifth, yeah, for sure.
He still beat Fifth, but he wanted that M for the week.
Word. Last question, bro. I know you got to go and
So
everything.
did I give a graduation? Did I give a graduation tip or like is there anything? Yeah, that's my graduation experience, and everything was fine. And then his mom passed,
Yeah.
and that
All
was
right, God bless.
that was a turning point. Yeah, God bless, daughter. Man, she was so awesome. Yeah.
For sure. I know you got to go, man. One last question for you. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of like attack this however you want to. You've done mixtapes. You've done the album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is dope, by the way.
Thank you, man.
2015, you released that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2015.
And now the Notebook, which is a one-track album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How did you come up with the concept of doing that?
Yeah.
I don't think nobody has anyone done that. I don't think nobody's done that.
I think in ways they've done it, but they haven't really like capitalized on the Christopher Columbusness of it. Like
Word. So you got the floor, bro. You can go into that, and then anything that you got promoting, you know what I'm saying, that you want to promote, that you got coming up, coming out, let everybody know.
Yeah. The album is so dope. And I love that project. I was working at Beats by Dre during the time as a creative director, so I was able to do some things that was also able to inspire Beats by Dre, and so like that was dope. From the Mannequin Challenge, you know, the song "Straight" that I did, you can hear it where I'm like, "Don't let me hit you with the mannequin," and then I just had took the Dragon because the Dragon has 30 frames, like super slow mo. And then I had my crew run back and forth. So when you ran in the slow mo, everyone is really frozen. And so I was doing I started that mannequin challenge. I brought it to the company, and like a lot of things I was able to do with that project that made me. I was in a great space. The Notebook is just things over the years that crept in the Notebook, and that. And I wanted it to read like a notebook. So there's no stopping, you know, unless you had the 5-star first gear that had the folders in between. A notebook keeps going,
Right.
so it shouldn't stop. The one-track album is going to be the thing that I do from now on. If you like a record of mine, you know, call it where the minute starts. That's what you could call it. You could call that, I love 1717. You know what I mean?
Word.
I think it's time to shake up the walls and how we do things, because ain't nobody give us anything for us to say that we have to comply to the rules and regulations of how this thing called art is. So one track albums is what you're gonna get from me from now on. I got a record now called Chancleta that I put out. It's attached to this mixtape called You Will Say My Name, and that's coming out in a couple weeks. It's
I can't wait. You should let me know.
Yeah. Well, that mixtape is like a grown man finding himself again, because when you have a baby, you turn into a child almost. You know, you're learning things new, you're figuring things out. And so when your child becomes 8, 9, 10, they have a consciousness where they're looking out for themselves, and all you have to do is guide at that point. This man that I am now is just a beast of a different dude, where I don't feel the fear anymore of, you know, not protecting an egg. You know, that egg is hatched. So I feel great. So the next album, You Will Say My Name, the mixtape is You Will Say My Name. The next album is called The Next Album. And that's that's gonna be in the summer, and that's just Latin anthems, and you know, I got a pun verse that no one has. It's not a pun verse. It's a hopefully if I could get it out of the thing. It's he left a rap on my voicemail. I got an old voicemail that I have. I got a lot of stuff on the next album that will catapult me into really looking at me differently as an MC, as a person in this culture. The mixtape is going to attract everybody's attention. But this the next album is something that you could put as a piece. It was written.
Word. I can't wait, man. You know, I'm a support. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. I
For
appreciate
sure.
it.
Yeah,
Did
just
you
let me
like the
know.
Notebook? Did you hear it?
I haven't heard all of it yet.
That is hard too. And
It's hard.
actually on there.
It came on hard.
Yeah,
Like a fact.
yeah. Ayo, I wrote for so many niggas. My nigga, check how it go. The bank say I'll be back when I come and go. I remember when my sneakers is leaning, the laces cracked the foe. Now on this mic shit though, the concrete has to glow. Yeah, no, it's gonna be. Oh man, I can't wait for y'all. Yeah, the Notebook is just that. It's just ah. You know, I might have mad notebooks that I throw out there. As a poet, I could do that. You know, actually on Rain 910 from Smack era, he produced a lot of that. Justin
Rain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and then my partner Justin Rains produced the majority of the other records. We got a kid on there called New Jersey Fats. We got I got Kid on that record. I got
Okay.
Kid from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Which that record's kind of hard. Yeah, Black Thought was supposed to get on this one, and I've been working with him a lot. It's just that he's super busy. He's in a play right now with John Leguizamo, and it's kicking his ass. You know, he's really good, man. He's one of the greatest. He's an alien, yo.
Yes.
Y'all don't even know.
Black Thought is. I could imagine just having a conversation with him, just another level.
I flew to Puerto Rico with him. Like he'll call me and be like, "Yo, you could get on this stage," or like to do his ad-libs, you know. And he knows how much I love it and how much I care about it. So I'll have practices. You know, I hope somebody that's watching this, a young MC, understand this. I have done movies. I got publishing. I got some bread here and there. I've done commercials, and I still booked open room with just myself, so I could practice Black Thought's ad libs for just in case if he asked me. So every album, every stream of thought he puts out, I will go listen to it and then vibe to it that week, and then that weekend I'll go and practice the ad libs. I didn't get no call for streams of thought too, but I know them.
Just in case, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Hey, and I guess that's what he respects out of me. I mean, he sends me records that you won't hear till 2022. I got records in here that, my God, you be like, what the? Why don't you just drop this today? We all need this today. He's like, yo, he's so good. He's a monk. He's a
Word.
His play, like he has plays. Like I was in his play called Black No More. And I play a character called Agamemnon Beard, and Agamemnon. It's a play where a doctor invents a machine that could turn black people white, and this man who's having an identity crisis with the black woman decides to take on that, and he changes from black to white, not to realize that some white people don't like other white people, and the family that he inherits eventually forces him to become a Klansman. And so he becomes chief of the Klansmen in Atlanta when he was just black, like a month ago.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And then I'm in Harlem, like, we of African origin are the color of carbon, people who've been involved in words of Charles Darwin. I'm the brother in charge, living above the margin, trying to feed the starving. Like, it's just like the zeitgeist is like, it's just too much. Like, he's too good. There's and when I talk about special, I think I'm talking about, you have to be able to have a moment where people could say, I can't do what you could do. Like, it doesn't matter if LeBron James wins 4 rings, bro. That stadium's going to be packed wherever he is.
Facts.
because you can't do that. So you're gonna buy a ticket to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Black Thought is that person.
I listen, bro. His music alone and just lyrical ability, another level.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I be having like if you're in my house, I'll play some shit. Yeah, we be having like church.
I'm gonna have to hit you when I'm on the West.
Yeah, man. I'll play some shit. Like I would like just let strangers and shit like that. But I'll let like I'll be like, yo, let's like I'll play a couple of lines that people be like, oh my god. We'll have church because he says lines that are like can help you. If you say if you knew every Black Thought lyric, you wouldn't have an insecurity. That's real.
Deep. That's
Because
deep.
he says it in such a vibrato that helps you. If you just knew it, it helps you, yo. It does. I'm serious. Like his stuff is not.
That's different, bro.
Yeah. He's great. Great dude. And then and then just like super youthful too. He's a lot more youthful than you think he is. Like with fashion, with stuff, he knows what's going on. Like he's still got his ear to the, even though I don't know how he does it actually. Right.
Word. That's what's up, man. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you, bro. You don't even know. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, coming on the platform for me. We had a great conversation.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta get back to being a dad. But albums coming out, movies coming out, cartoons are coming out. Shout out to Jackie Long. We got this thing called Actor Gang.
Word. I'm trying to get Jackie on here too, man. I reached out to him. I don't know if he got an email address on there.
Okay.
But yeah, I reached out to him.
He right now he's doing the games people play. So
Okay.
He's in the middle of shooting season 2. So when he's done with that, he'll be more receptive to interviews and stuff like that. I let him know I was on your show before.
Word.
But yeah, we got a company called Actor Gang and JLHP, and we're coming by storm. We like those hybrid people, those people that could do more than one thing, because those people they tend to be students. Because when people go, yo, you're a master of none though, and that's okay. I understand when people say that. But some of those people that are masters, they don't know how to listen.
That's a fact.
So when you have somebody who's a hybrid, they usually come to terms with absorbing information. That's the only reason why they are able to, But you put a lot of us people in the right position, and we'll be able to nail it. So 808 Vinyl is the label. That's gonna come out on Amazon Music exclusively, just Amazon Music. It's not gonna be on all platforms. But you come to our site, you'll hear the same music. But look out for Katie Paris, my daughter. She's also a beast.
Okay, that's what's up. Anyway, now how can people contact you if they want to send music your way, or like what I'm saying? Are you doing features right now? Anything?
Yeah. We're doing features for very little. I wanna for very little throughout this time. It's not about the money with my features right now. It might be one day again, but right now I'm doing so much that if I hear something, I'll do it for the 2 hours that it takes me to do it. I'll charge the 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna charge people for the feature. I won't do a video,
right?
But for just knocking a record out, I'm willing to, the 2 hours, $100 an hour.
Okay.
Like $200 just to the summer, because I just want to spaz. I'm just that's what I'm saying. It's just about the recording, the engineer. I want to fill my plate. I want to knock everything down. I want to get to a space where the momentum, from being on 8 Facebook rap freestyles or features or whatever you could call it, that momentum, that 7th one is gonna be crazy. That 8th one is gonna be, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So That's where I'm going with it right now. So if anybody, it has nothing to do with money. It's really just paying my engineer.
Mm-hmm. Word. And how can they contact you? Is that on IG or?
Yeah. ALBE BACK. No. Yeah. IG. Yeah. DM me, and be ready to have the beat and the concept, so I could just fit right in, and I'll just knock it out.
Word.
We do Cash App, $200, and I'll just knock it out, and that way I could just get my engineer money, get him, stay focused, on because you got to prepare for ALBE, you got this verse, like, can you do this? Like, you got to prepare for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm back in that mode. We're off of the winter, January, February shit, and we're off of it, and we're ready for the spring, and I'm springing forward.
That's what it do, man. And nothing else for me to say. Without question, listen, y'all. Albert Daniels, aka ALBE BACK.
ALBE BACK.
Y'all already know he coming with that new everything this year period. You know what I mean? Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. This happy hour with Lito, and we out.
Lito.